My kids are finally asleep, and I'm now in the upstairs bedroom in my house, hiding from my wife, so I can have some time alone with my friend. And my friend just happens to be a little monk from Germany from a long time ago, 1634. We will call him Paul. I love him. He's my friend. I love him so much that I drew a picture of him for you. That's Paul right there. Okay, thank you for joining me for episode number 8 of my show about beer, which documents my journey as I learn about the beers of the world. And for this episode, we are going back to Germany, which is where we were in the first episode, and we're gonna get ready for Oktoberfest. It's tomorrow, September 1st, so it's time to get ready for Oktoberfest. So let's quickly honor Chlistalla, who got the trivia question right 2 weeks in a row. The question was last week, what was the date of the earthquake that sunk the pirate city, Port Royal, into the Caribbean Sea in Jamaica? And he got it right. Chlistalla, way to go, man. The answer was June 7th, 1692. And the bonus was, what was the time of the earthquake? And how do we know what time the earthquake was, given that it was over 300 years ago? And the answer to that was, archaeologists in I think 1969, they found a stopwatch in the harbor with it's a whole underground city, and the stopwatch was stopped at 11:43 a.m. So that's what time they think the earthquake was. So way to go, man. Quick comment from last week. We were talking about Red Stripe and how it started showing up in Miami from Jamaica with marijuana in the shipments. And Oren said, my Red Stripe came with a syringe, no marijuana. So, Oren, you must have ordered the Red Stripe Extra. You know, I had the Red Stripe Light. It only comes with marijuana. Yours comes with something much stronger if it comes with syringes. So, I don't know where you found that. You should let everyone know on the notes. Okay, tonight's beer. Paulaner Oktoberfest-Marzen. That's what we're talking about. 5.8% ABV from Munich, Germany, the Paulaner Brewery. No rating on the IBU scale. But what's a Marzen beer? First, we need to address that. What's a Marzen beer? Well, Mars means March in German. So let's go back to 1553. The Bavarian government passed a law that said no making beer in the hot summer months. From April to September, no making beer. So the March batch of beer was the last batch of beer that the brewers could make, and it had to last all the way through the summer, and then they would crack it open in the fall and drink it. And to make it last, it had to be a little bit higher in alcohol content, have a little bit different composition to be preserved. And they would store it or lager it cold all the way through. So it's a special beer. It was the last beer batch made in March. That's what a Marzen is. And that's what they drink at Oktoberfest. So what's Oktoberfest? Oktoberfest, which I've never been because my wife won't let me go, but it's the biggest beer festival in the world. It's in Munich, Germany. There are 6 million people that go there. That's how big it is. If you look this up on the internet, it's a huge production to put this thing on. But what's the history of Oktoberfest? That's what's really interesting. So let's go back to the year 1810. There was a wedding between Prince Ludwig and Princess Therese of Saxe-Hildburghausen. And the citizens of Munich were invited to this wedding. And it was a big festival that was held in front of the palace. And they had horse races and beer drinking. And they dressed the kids up in cute little costumes. And it was a big festival. And they named the fields after the princess. It's called Therese's Meadow. And they still have the Oktoberfest today in the exact same location. I think that's really cool. So, the last thing about Oktoberfest, why is it called Oktoberfest if it's in September? So the wedding, that was the first one, was in October. It was on October 12th, and then it ended on October 17th with some horse races. Very special lady in my life has a birthday on October 17th. You know, this party was so fun, they wanted to make it longer than just a few days in October. And when they decided to extend it, they didn't want to extend it into the winter months or into the weeks into the winter, making it colder. So they extended it backwards into September. So now it's a 16-day festival, starts sometime in September. It always ends on the first Sunday in October or on October 3rd, whatever occurs later. So 16 days, always starts in September. And marketing, these breweries, they want to get their Oktoberfest beers out early, so that's why it's the last day of August and we're seeing all the Oktoberfest beers have already been out for a few weeks. So, okay, enough talking about beer. Let's drink it. Let's go ahead and try this thing. So I don't have a really cool giant Oktoberfest beer mug, so I have this beer mug. Let's go ahead and see what this beautiful Oktoberfest-Marzen beer looks like. And by the way, the Oktoberfest-Marzens that are exported to the United States are darker than the ones that are served at Oktoberfest in Germany. So let's look at this color. This is like a very nice, this looks like copper. It's a nice copper color. I don't even call that amber because I don't see very much red in it. Well, I guess copper's kind of red, but it's not pale and it's not brown. It's sort of in the middle. So it's like it's a coppery color. Let's go ahead and give it a smell. Some things we're gonna look for are oats, yeast, bread, toffee, and caramel for the smell and the taste. Let's give this a smell. It definitely smells yeasty, bready, malty, and caramely. Definitely smell caramel. Let's go ahead and give this Marzen Oktoberfest a taste. Excellent, excellent. It's bready, it's caramely, but not like heavy caramely like I would think maybe like a darker brown ale would be. It's caramely, it's toffee, it's yeasty. I want to kind of look for a fruit flavor in there.
Jawohl, sehr schön.
Maybe a little bit of raisin notes, or like prune, something like that. But it's not citrusy at all. So I think more like sort of dark fruits. It's very, very good. It is really good. A little more here. Kind of a good in-between beer. I like it. It's clean, it's crisp. There's not a bad aftertaste. There's a little bit of an aftertaste, but it's good. It's clean. I guess what they call a clean finish. So I really like it. Way to go, Paulaner, with your Oktoberfest-Marzen beer. I definitely like it. Let's give this, I'm gonna give this like an 85. 85 for the Paulaner Marzen Oktoberfest beer. All right, trivia question has to do with Oktoberfest. Let's see who can get this right first. Let's see if it's gonna be this hotshot here or somebody else. How many toilets are at the Oktoberfest festival in Germany? Let's see, you can give me an approximate because it probably changes year to year, but how many toilets are at Oktoberfest? Okay, next week's beer, we're gonna do something special, spaghetti heads. We're going to Italy, Italia. I thought we could do this to honor the earthquake victims. There's this terrible earthquake that happened in Italy last week. So I was looking at beers, trying to decide on one. I thought, hey, let's do a Peroni from Italy. Maybe we could have some Italian food, if my wife would cook it ever. Just kidding, honey. But let's do a Peroni. Go get a Peroni, we'll do it together, and we'll see what this Italian beer tastes like. So, thank you so much for joining me on episode number 8, tasting Oktoberfest-Marzen beer. I hope you get to go to an Oktoberfest festival somewhere near where you live. If you're watching this in Germany, go to the big one and tell us about it on the comments. Love to hear about it. I would love to go someday. So if you like my show, please click subscribe. I really appreciate it. And remember, no matter where you are in the world watching this, if you like beer, you always have a friend right here in Plano, Texas. Guten Tag!